All right, everybody. This is Ryan and Derek from Ryan and Derek Uncensored, and we are going to go ahead and jump in and talk about the WCW pay per view that Ryan chose off camera, off what microphone, whatever, as Battle Bowl 1993. Ryan, before we get into the matches, how would you rate the overall pay per view? Was it good, bad, meh, what?
To me, some of these matches were just kind of slow.
Yeah.
And the commentary, oh my God. Jesse the Body Ventura and Tony Schiavone have no chemistry.
They tried so hard, but yeah,
They
it just
did.
wasn't. Uh,
Because Jesse's the Body Ventura's so deep voice, he's so monotone. And Tony Schiavone, he's been great, like even through the WCW years and also in AEW.
right.
There was no chemistry between those two.
I will agree with you. However, I will say I would prefer to listen to Tony Schiavone and Jesse the Body Ventura over Byron Saxton and Corey Graves any day.
Yeah, there's just a
That's
lot
just
of
my opinion.
silence, and there was just like you could tell um, Jesse was pretty much sitting back and watching the match. Didn't really want to say a whole lot.
Yeah. Being the color commentator, it's kind of his job to, kind of antagonize a little bit like he did. Like a great example, and I'm not going to go off too much into a tangent, but if anybody listening has not watched WrestleMania 3 with him and Gorilla Monsoon commentating, watch that. It's hilarious, especially with Gorilla Monsoon telling him, "Will you stop?" and all that good stuff.
The best part was Mean Gene reading the names with Fifi.
Yes, I have some notes on that as well.
So, starting off, who was Fifi?
Apparently, she was. I don't know much about her. She was Ric Flair's one of Ric Flair's valets, women. He probably slept with her. So I mean,
Mm,
because like on that 30 for 30 on ESPN, he's claimed to have slept with over 10,000 women. So
gosh.
yeah, yeah, that's about all I know. And yeah, I made a couple of notes on about Jane being horny and all that.
Oh yeah. They were in Pensacola, Florida, at the Civic Center.
Yes, one of the one of WCW's hotbeds for
Yeah.
sure.
So what I took this as the Battle Bowl, you have like X amount of teams that are picked at random for tag team, and then whoever wins those matches goes into like a battle royal over the top at the end.
Yes,
So
yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
yeah, I've got my notes and everything on that.
Well, go since you got your notes. Go ahead and tell us about the first match, and if I have anything to add, I'll add it.
Okay, so and it was amazing to see that some of these wrestlers back then in 1993 are still going at it today.
Right.
So you had Cactus Jack. We all knew who that is.
Yep.
Vader versus, I took it as Cole from Harlem Heat,
Yeah.
which
We all know. We all know who he turned into later on, but yeah.
yeah, I couldn't believe that. That was kind of weird. Cole is King Booker.
That's Stevie Ray.
They were going back and forth, and they couldn't even decide who was who. So that was my mistake.
I mean, yeah, and yeah, Jesse and Tony, yeah, they couldn't decide. But I mean, I've seen Harlem Heat, and I've seen enough of them to know I can differentiate between Booker and Stevie. So
Okay, so it was Stevie Ray
yes,
and Charlie Norris.
and I have no idea who the heck that is.
Me either. So Cactus comes out and Vader comes out with Harley Race. And the
Mhm.
two of them get into it before the match even starts, before they even get into the ring. Harley Race gets caught in the middle of it because he can't keep his mouth shut. And so Cactus Jack flips onto Indian, which is Charlie Norris.
Okay. Yep.
So you got to see some high flying moves from some of the legends, which were back in the younger days.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
so what I didn't really write too much on this, um, except for the fucking Vader. He power bombed and fell backwards, but won the match.
Yeah, I had that in one of my notes as well.
It's like he went to go power bomb him. He overcompensated and fell backwards into the ropes and was like, "Oh." So power bomb set down. But what was funny is like whenever they did the replay, you could see Harlem Heat was trying to provoke Cactus Jack to end the match. Like they were just kind of standing there, like, "What do we do now?"
Yeah. And the other than that that botched power bomb you mentioned, well, I did say I did write down Cactus Jack had some sloppy offense.
Yeah.
Um, I do remember that flip you were talking about where like Vader was holding Charlie Norris, I believe, and Cactus Jack ran off the apron and like did a somersault flip on
Oh yeah.
Charlie Norris. That's what you were talking about, and
Yeah.
the only other note I have was another botch. Like Vader, like tried to whip Charlie Norris into the ropes, and he just like kind of stopped in the middle of the ring. And I'm like, and I don't know, like Vader seemed like he didn't know what to do. Like he went to go clothesline him, and it looked like he just like kind of ran into him with his arm. I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
A lot of people didn't like him back then because, well, a lot of people didn't like him, period, because he was stiff.
Yeah, yeah. He made his name over in Japan where they work kind of stiff over there. So yeah, it didn't really translate too well to the states.
Mm. So, I have match two,
Okay.
unless you wanted to do anything, commentate on Mean Gene. I didn't really put notes in with them.
No, I just did like I guess pretty much after every match. I just put a Mean Gene is horny, LOL.
Yeah.
That's really all I had. So
And Fifi was just kind of like not even taking it.
no.
So, match two has Paul LaRoma, one of the four horsemen,
Yeah.
and Eric Watts takes on Johnny B. Bad and Nasty Boy Knob.
Yep.
Um, so John B. Bad is kind of like a little Richard lookalike.
Yeah. That's what WCW gave him as a gimmick.
Oh, okay. So I had to go back and watch this match a couple times because I don't know if you caught onto it, but there's an invisible 2 count.
No, I did not catch on to that match. I just kind of watched this all the way through. Well, watch it. Well, I can't say all the way through. I kind of broke it up into 2 days, but I just watched them all the way through.
I had because they're like, "Oh, we got a 2 count." I was like, "Where did you get the 2 count from?" So I had to go back and look at it, and there's no 2 count.
What was it like? Did Tony Schiavone say that?
No, yeah, you did.
Okay, because there's a match later on where he said there's a certain move, and I was like, no, that's definitely not what that move is. But we'll get to that when we get to that match.
Yeah. So the only note that I got was there was a crossbody block with an Irish whip, and they grabbed the tights by his crotch.
Oh yeah, not yeah. I had that too. Knobs won with the roll up and a handful of tights. I believe he pinned Eric Watts, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't write too many notes on that.
I didn't either. The only other note I had was I like this match much better because there was more catch as catch can wrestling, mostly between Johnny B. Bad and Paul Roma.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a little bit more enjoyable than just two big brutes like Cactus and Vader in the first match, and that first match was a fustercluck to me. I was like, uh, I mean, yeah, just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, and it didn't help whenever Harley Race went and shut his mouth.
No.
So then they break to Mean Gene being horny again, trying to mac on Fifi. And then match 3, which this was just crazy. The Shockmaster with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff versus Ricky the Steamboat Dragon and Lord Steven Regal.
Wait, say that again?
It was Shockmaster, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff versus Ricky the Steamboat and Lord Steven Regal.
You mean Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, right?
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yeah.
Yeah, you said Ricky the Steamboat Dragon. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, okay. My mistake. So,
choo-choo.
They were talking a lot of smack about where Shockmaster fell through the wall.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, but there's really no. if y'all hadn't seen that, just Google that, the Shockmaster debut. It's the funniest debut ever in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, it is. And Psycho said couldn't hold his tongue. He goes, "What the fuck was that?"
And then in the background, you can hear the British Bulldog. He fell on his ass. On his ass.
Let's see. Steamboat and Orndorff, they collided really weird.
Yeah, they did.
And then Shockmaster uses Steamboat's arm to tag in Regal because Regal wouldn't reach out and tag Steamboat because they hated each other.
Yes, was it the TV championship that they were after, or was it another championship?
I think it was a TV championship.
Okay, yeah, I know. Like somebody had it, or somebody won it from. Yeah, they were in a rivalry for it, and somebody had won it off the other person. And yeah, that's right.
So Steamboat hit Regal with the umbrella, and Shockmaster pinned Regal.
I kind of totally forgot about that.
Because Regal was trying to get in, and he was trying to hit somebody with it. Steamboat took it, and he got mad, and Regal just mouthed off at him, so he smacked him with the umbrella. And then Shockmaster did one of his jump moves, and he pinned Regal and was like, "All right, this is over with."
Oh, speaking of, this was the match that this match was what I mentioned earlier about that Tony Schiavone calling the wrong move. What you said I had in my notes as well, and I was actually surprised to see Paul Orndorff and Regal mix it up because they were the heels in the. So I was like, okay, and the early part, Regal, I guess obviously being younger than Paul Orndorff, or Paula Orndorff as the fans called him. Like he got the early advantage, but Regal came back, and then they were tagging, Steamboat and Shockmaster.
Yeah, and they shook hands, and Steamboat was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. We'll see. And I thought did Steamboat and the former Tugboat / Typhoon from the Natural Disasters didn't they shake hands too?
I think so.
Okay. And then the other note I had was Tony Schiavone called a sidewalk slam a belly to back. Yeah, okay, yeah, with Shockmaster. I forget who Shockmaster, or like I said, Tugboat or Typhoon in WWF, who he gave a sidewalk slam to. But Tony was like, "Yeah, that's the belly to back suplex." I'm like,
"That's what it was." I was like, "They did what?" No.
Yeah, I had to go back and watch it again. I'm like, no, because like Kane did that move. Kevin Nash, when he was Diesel, used to do the sidewalk slam. I'm like, that is not a belly to back suit. If you want to see a belly to back suplex, you need to watch Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Or not, I'm sorry, I guess those are German suplexes, but either way.
All right. So the next match, I didn't know who these people were. So you've got Awesome Kong and the Equalizer.
Yeah, I have no idea who they are either.
And then you have versus King Kong and the natural Dustin Rhodes.
I don't have a lot of notes on this match.
That one was kind of boring.
Yeah.
So Dustin Rhodes, was that Gold Dust?
Yes.
Okay. So I had to go back and forth and watch this a couple times too because I was like, what? So they called a missed elbow, but it clearly hit Dustin. He just kind of like got up and no sold it and acted like it didn't even happen.
I mean, I guess you have to if someone misses a spot. You just got to kind of roll with it.
Yeah, like I don't know. It was weird. And then the last thing I've got is Dustin hits a weird bulldog and they win the match.
That's really the only note I had, other than another sloppy match. Dustin is by far the best in the ring.
Yeah.
Wins with a running bulldog.
It was kind of weird because he kind of botched it whenever he landed.
Yeah, well, and I guess it's a good thing. Well, it could have been dangerous if he'd botched it anymore. He could have broke the dude's neck.
Yeah.
And I didn't have this as a note, but I remember like the Equalizer and Dustin, would tag like Awesome Kong and King Kong, and they kind of squared off.
Yeah, and they kind of looked at each other and was like,
yeah, I'm not going to wrestle you.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But after the match, the Kongs hit each other in the head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So this next match was one of my favorites.
Same.
Sting and Nasty Boy Sags versus Ron Simmons. Damn. And Keith Cole. I really didn't take too many notes on this except for a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
I just couldn't get over the fact that Ron Simmons looked very sleepy.
Yeah. He did like or I don't know, maybe that's Ron Simmons' resting bitch face. I don't know. Sorry, Ron.
He just looked very tired. And like anytime that would like get a look at his face, he just looked like he had bags under his eyes, was just tired.
He could have went out drinking the night before. I mean,
true.
I mean, it was the early 90s. There's a lot more partying and bar fights back then than there are today.
Yeah. He did hit a catapult to the lower rope to Sting.
Yeah.
And then Sags tags in while Sting hits a Stinger splash. And I guess Sags elbowed from the top and won the match. So the Nasty Boys, Sags, and Sting advanced.
Yes. I had Simmons started out very hot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, that's all I've got.
Keith Cole, I guess Keith Cole had a good takedown. There were lots of arm drags in this match. I was kind of like I mentioned before, the heels in the previous match, Regal and Orndorff. I was kind of surprised to see Sting and Simmons kind of mix it up as well because they being baby faces.
Yeah.
I wrote this down, but I don't remember what happened. Botched a roll up off of the ropes. I don't remember who that was.
I don't either.
And the next note I had: Simmons finally got Sting down, but Cole did not capitalize. And then Jesse Ventura was like commentating, he's like, Ron Simmons was beating Sting down, and Jesse's like, okay, like he tagged Cole in to finish him off, and Cole was just like, here, I'm gonna put you in an arm bar.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't capitalize and just ended up like Sting had to come back and like splashed Cole in the corner. That's like you said, that's when Sags tagged himself in and the elbow drop off the top rope.
Yeah, they did spend a lot of time noting that. They're like, okay, he was down and he didn't capitalize. He just put him in an arm bar. That was really weird.
Yeah, that makes wrestling logic. That makes no sense. Well, I mean, I guess for the storyline of who they wanted in the Battle Royal, but I mean that makes no sense. And then the next, because like if you have someone down, you would try to pin him, not try to put him in an arm bar. What are you gonna do with the arm bar?
Nothing.
And then the last note I had was Simmons may have turned heel after the match because he pretty much beat down his partner and the fans were cheering. I don't know if they were, but I was cheering. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, dude. You were like beating on Sting and beating on sags, and you get them in a pinning predicament, and you tag your partner in, and he doesn't go for the pin. So
Yeah.
I'd be frustrated as well.
And then the next match,
My second favorite match.
yeah, mine too. Which, of course, stunning Steve Austin, which is now Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
With Ric Flair, the Nature Boy.
Woo!
Versus Max Payne and Too Cold Scorpio. So, who was Too Cold Scorpio?
I'm not sure of his real name, but he was Flash Funk in the WWE.
That's what I thought. Okay. So Steve flipped over, got out of the ring, and kept complaining he needed another partner because I guess Flair didn't want to get in the ring. And Flair and Austin got into it after somebody tried to smack their hand away from the rope.
Oh yeah, I think that was Colonel Rob. Steve Austin's manager, Colonel Rob Parker, at the time. Flair was trying to he's trying to reach in, and Flair just kind of I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, and it was like Steve Austin would get out of the ring. He was like, "I need another partner. I can't work with this guy." And the Colonel was like, "You got to, Steve. Just get back in the ring."
Yeah, they were. I think before the match, they were arguing Stunning Steve was like, "I'm the captain." Flair's like, "No, I'm the captain." They were.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny because just about 10 years later, they ended up working in WWE. Stone Cold and Ric Flair from Evolution, and
yeah.
Oh man.
What I was surprised to see is Austin had some high risk moves, and he was very cocky. Like he would jump off the top rope and do some high flying moves, and he was moving kind of fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, before Owen Hart purposely or accidentally broke his neck, I mean, he kind of had to change his style.
Right.
So
it was just good to see him move like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, being cocky like who was it? Probably Too Cold Scorpio. He came off the rope and would do a nonchalant pin cover and turn to Ric Flair and count 1.
Yeah, 2. He was like, "Look at me, 1, 2," and then Too Cold would kick out. Let's see.
Yeah,
and then Flair won that match by the figure 4.
Yeah, and also a couple more notes I had was Too Cold Scorpio and Ric Flair. They had the longest backslide ever in the chain wrestling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy smokes, that took forever. I mean, if anyone's a long time wrestling fan, they'll go for the headlock, and then other person will get their head in a scissor lock, and then they'll float over, and then they'll bridge up, and then turn around and do the backslide. It was probably you could have ran to the bathroom, probably flew up to Madison Square Garden, got some popcorn with Gorilla Monsoon, flown back down by the time Too Cold Scorpio was able to get Flair over for the backslide.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, Flair and Austin go at it for a bit, and then Flair beats Payne with the figure 4, and then he gives the woo. I guess Max Payne tagged him, he got the hot tag. He was kind of cleaning house. Had Ric Flair in the corner. He was running. Flair moved, and Max Payne jumped tried to knee Flair in the chest. Flair moves, ow, my knee. So Ric Flair, hits him with the figure 4, and he holds out for about 3 seconds, and then he taps out. So,
and
is this the last match?
No.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's the last one on this page. I'm sorry.
Let's see. So the next one is Ravishing Rick Rude with Shanghai Pierce with Marcus Alexander Bagwell in Tex Schlesinger, which Marcus Alexander Bagwell would later become Buff Bagwell.
And just a quick fun tidbit, quiz or pop quiz. Do you know who Shanghai Pierce and Tex Schlesinger were in WWF?
I don't.
Or who they turned into? Okay. They are Texas Lassinger and Shanghai Pierce, the future Henry O and Phineas I Godwin.
Oh, okay.
So
I was trying to place those, and I was like, I have no idea who those are.
yeah. So I'll go ahead. I know you've started out a lot of the matches. I'll start out with some of the notes.
Okay.
My first one, Rude looks jacked.
Yeah, he does.
Good gosh. What did I have? I had there's some more arm drags, and but Marcus Alexander Bagwell had actually the best arm drag so far in all the matches tonight. Man,
Yeah.
Rude was very, very intense, and when Shanghai Pierce sent Marcus Alexander into the ropes, Rude pulled the ropes down to get the advantage and pretty much beat the crap out of Bagwell.
Yeah, he dumped him out.
Yeah. Bagwell got lots of punishment, and then like pretty much the last note I had was Rude gets Tex with the Rude Awakening to win the match. I know there's some other stuff that went in before that though.
The only thing that I had was the two Texicans go at it instead of them are like, no, we're not going to fight each other. They actually went at it for a little bit.
Yeah, they did what the Kongs did, and I think the fans actually wanted to see that. So
yeah, that was some hard hitting shit.
And they and then they both ended up beating up Marcus Alexander Bagwell after the match.
And cut to, I think this is where Mean Gene had Fifi was on the ground, and he was like, thanks for helping me tie my shoe there.
Yeah, and then the camera's on him for like 5 seconds, then he's like, oh hey, stand up. Yeah.
So the next match, nobody liked each other in this. So Road Warrior Hawk and Rip Rogers versus Davey Boy Smith and Harlem Heat Cole, who's Booker T.
Yeah, this was my least favorite match of all the Lethal Lottery tag teams.
Yeah. So before the match even starts, Hawk levels Rip outside.
Yep, I have that too.
Let me go to my other notes here in this other book. Rip was crawling in the ring and got hit by Cole. And then I had Davey Boy started cheering for LOD.
Yep, I had that too, the LOD chants.
Yeah. So they didn't. This is another one that I had to go back. Cole missed the elbow drop, but he acted like he hit him. And I was like, okay, whatever.
I mean, sometimes, like you said, with that Dustin match, like he had to no-sell that elbow, or the elbow drop, he no-sold. So
yeah, and the crazy part was Hawk pretty much beat Cole all he could take. So Rip was actually trying to get into the ring. Hawk seen him, takes him up in the air and throws him on Cole, and Rip got the pin.
Yeah, that's why I hated this match. Like, that's pretty much the only offense that Rip got was being propelled from Hawk onto Cole, who I'm just gonna call him Booker T.
Yeah.
Just man, I was happy to see the Spinneroonie in the match, although Jesse and Tony didn't call it the Spinneroonie.
No, they're like some break dancing.
Yes, some break dancing. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess technically, to be fair, actually, I don't remember. Did they call that the Spinneroonie in WCW, or was it when he came to WWE?
It was whenever he came to WWE.
That makes sense.
The King was like, let me see the Spinneroonie.
That's right. So, yeah, then we had the 16 people for the Battle Royal. It was Vader, Cactus Jack, Johnny B. Bad, Brian Knobbs, Paul Orndorff, the Shockmaster, Dustin Rhodes, King Kong, Sting, Jerry Saggs, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Stunning Steve Austin, Ravishing Rick Rude, Shanghai Pierce, Hawk, and Rip Rogers. Before we get into that match, I don't know, did Tony Schiavone even say who he thought was going to win the match?
He said that he wanted to see. I think his favorite was Sting.
Okay, because I do remember, like, well, like the commentators and announcers asking one another. I remember Mean Gene said Vader. Then Jesse Ventura said Vader or the Nasty Boys because their
Right.
actual team. And I don't remember if like they had both asked Tony, or like you said, Tony just said Sting, and I just they didn't even really have to ask Tony.
Yeah. And they just kept going back and forth about freaking Vader and Flair for their upcoming match. What was it? Starcade?
It's Arcade 1993. Yep.
Where it was going to be an I Quit match, and Vader was all too happy about that.
I don't want to spoil everyone's. I don't want to spoil it for everyone. I have seen Starcade '93. I know who wins the match, so I knew who was going to win the Battle Royal. But it was still fun to see, who eliminated who.
Yeah, I've written it down in order of elimination.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't. I just put I just put the number down by the when they were eliminated. I didn't have who eliminated who, unfortunately.
Well, I couldn't, with the way that it was filmed, you couldn't freaking tell on some of these. Like,
yeah, the camera angles. Yeah, whoever was in the truck was Bischoff in charge of WCW then? Bischoff, you need to get your camera people to take better angles because it was definitely hard to see
yeah.
some of those eliminations.
So the first was Rogers was eliminated.
I was so glad to see that. I was like, thank God.
Yeah. Shanghai eliminated himself.
Okay.
But he hit something and flew over the top.
Like, okay, I just remember them saying that he was eliminated. I didn't know he eliminated himself, but I did have him down as number 2.
Stunning Steve and Flair went through the second rope and were fighting outside.
Yep.
Johnny B. Bad was eliminated. Vader eliminated Cactus Jack, and then Orndorff was eliminated.
Oh, okay. I had those two swapped. So I had them wrong. I had Orndorff at 4 and Cactus at 5. It should have been the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then King Kong was eliminated.
Thank God. He was just. I'm sorry. He's just a fat ass. He did not need that. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. He just needed to get out because, yeah, he was a big man, but he was awkward. At least, Shockmaster, he could move for being a big man.
Right.
But he didn't win. Obviously, his team didn't win, so he wasn't in the match.
Actually, he was. Shockmaster was.
I'm dumb. Disregard.
So, right after King Kong, Shockmaster was eliminated. And Jesse the Body made a note to say that the 2 biggest men were eliminated out of this Battle Bowl.
That's right. I do remember that.
And then Dustin Rhodes got taken to the outside and he got hit in the head with the steel posts of the ring and he was bleeding kind of bad.
Yeah.
So they threw him back in and then Suggs got eliminated and Dustin finally got eliminated and they took him to the back. But while that was happening, there was a bunch of commotion going on, and he was fighting with somebody on the outside.
That might have been Stunning Steve because I do remember, once quite a few people got eliminated. They you could see more clearly on from the camera angle, and I know it was Dustin and Stunning Steve were kind of going at it quite a bit in the corner.
Okay. And then the big one, which everybody was happy about, they eliminated Rude.
Man, yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings because back then when I was younger, I couldn't stand Rude, but now being older, I'm like, man, and watching it through 2022's vision, not 1993, I'm like, man, some of these tag teams that didn't win probably should have won.
Yeah,
but yeah, and but yeah, I was kind of sad to see Rude because I figured he was because they kept on saying during his tag team actually he was like the international world champion, or he was world champion recognized internationally or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I was like, but he's world champion. You can't eliminate him yet. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. He should last to the end by wrestling logic.
Right. And they were talking about his tights. He had everybody that he had beaten on his tights.
Dude, that is badass. Wrestlers today, well, I guess Roman Reigns has like been bragging about who he's been beaten, but to have that airbrushed on your tights, dude, you are the alpha male in my opinion.
Right.
To do that.
So let's see. Hawk was eliminated, and then Flair got the ever-loving shit beat out of him by Vader. They took it out to the catwalk, and Flair beat the crap got the crap beat out of him. I think Austin was holding his feet whenever Vader did the Vader bomb.
Yeah, he was.
And then Harley Race got in the middle of it, and then somehow Flair got hurt and he couldn't get up, and they were calling for like the stretcher to come out, and all you heard was Flair just scream like a lady.
I remember that. Oh God! Oh, don't put me on the stretcher. I'm like, what? I couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, all you could hear was just Flair go, no, I want to go.
I was happy to see and hear, when Tony and Jesse mentioned the final four were Sting, Flair, Austin, and Vader. I'm like, oh, so Austin makes it to the final four. I was like, okay, cool.
So here's what sucked. Steve was eliminated by falling to the floor. He fell off the catwalk and onto the floor.
Yeah,
so now they're into the final two.
Yeah, Sting and Vader. Man, oh gosh, because I remember because Jesse Ventura had mentioned it on commentary. He's like, so basically you can throw. There's three sides of the ring you can get thrown out of and be eliminated, but that one side where the cat like the walkway catwalk is, if you get thrown on that, you're good to go. But I guess when Sting was basically fighting 2-on-1 at that point.
Yeah, he was.
And I guess like at the comeback, he like kind of knocked Austin over the ropes, or I don't remember what happened, but without going back to watch it, but he knocked him over onto the catwalk, like you said, and then he just happened to roll off. And like, oh, and was he? And I don't think the announcer announced that he was eliminated at first.
Well, they were having to check on that because they were like, I think that crosses the stipulation because he hit the catwalk and then onto the floor. And then the referee came around and was like, since he fell on the floor, he is eliminated.
Yeah, kind of BS to me, but I mean, whatever.
And then the last two, Sting hits the Sting Splash and overcompensates and gets thrown out.
Yeah, so your winner of the Battle Bowl, Big Van Vader.
Big Van Vader.
So, but I was happy to see Austin in the top three. I just kind of hate it's kind of technicality of bullshit calling how he got eliminated.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
But that's pretty much pretty much the pay-per-view. The team. So I'm gonna go back just quickly and say probably the team that I wish would have made it but didn't was probably Steamboat and Regal.
Yeah,
I think they would have because they're both solid wrestlers. Steamboat being a face, Regal being a heel. I would have loved to have seen them face Flair and Austin, to be totally honest with you. That would have been my dream match for tag teams on that card.
Yeah,
I digress.
That would have been a good one to see. I'm not gonna lie.
That first match, definitely the worst match. Mick, I love you, buddy, and I've read your books, and you pretty much bashed Johnny B. Bad, or Mark Marrow, whatever you want to call him. In your book, that you got mad he got paid more money than you did originally when y'all first got to WWF. But to be honest with you, dude, Johnny B. Bad and Knobs had a better match than you and Vader did with Stevie Ray and the Indian dude.
Right.
hands down. So,
That's what I was thinking too.
Ron, did you have anything else you'd like to add?
That is all that I had on that.
Okay, fair enough.
So if anybody has anything they'd like to add, just let us know. Or if you feel that we should watch another pay-per-view and review it, let us know as well.
And also, just to piggyback on that, if you'd like to come in and discuss it with us, you're more than welcome to as well.
Yes, exactly.
We actually wouldn't mind, someone else's feedback. You might have a different perspective than both Ryan and myself. Who knows?
Exactly. So that does it for this segment for WCW BattleBowl
1993
from Pensacola, Florida. Okay, everybody, this segment is called But Why? So it's not really out there, but then again it is. It was just some history stuff. Well, let's see. There was some places that were once listed as their own countries. So did you know that Vermont was its own country or its own republic from 1777 to 1791?
Somewhat. I know it was not the original 13, one of the original 13 colonies.
Yeah, so it's like Congress refused to recognize it as separate from New York. Vermont went so far as to petition the British for confederation with Canada that didn't materialize either. And in 1791, Vermont finally negotiated its way to becoming the 14th U.S. state by paying New York $30,000 for lost territory.
Oh, well, okay. I guess I'm thinking only $30,000, but
yeah,
that was over 200 years ago. So
right.
Yeah, it'd probably be. I don't know what that would inflate to today's currency, but that doesn't seem like too bad. But then again, I wasn't a whole lot of money making going on back then. So
yeah. So there was Pittsburgh, New Hampshire was its own country from 1832 to 1835. They called it the Indian Stream Republic. Let's see. Unwilling to go to war for such frivolities, the British backed down. Indian Stream was renamed Pittsburgh and officially became a U.S. territory under an 1842 treaty clarifying various questions concerning the U.S.-Canada border.
Okay, because okay, I guess I'll have to go back and double check that because I thought New Hampshire was a state way before 1842.
It was Pittsburgh, New Hampshire is they were trying to
like a disputed area.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
Zanzibar, Tanzania, from only 1 year. It's been inhabited for at least 20,000 years, referred to as Minucius in an ancient Greco-Roman text, and in the 1st century AD was settled both by Bantu-speaking Africans and refugee Arabs. And do you know what famous person is from Zanzibar, Tanzania?
I actually do not.
The late, great Freddie Mercury.
Oh, well, I'll be danged. I did not know that. As soon as you said Zanzibar, I was thinking of that inappropriately titled Jack Black song, F Her Gently.
Oh, okay. Let's see. For
all
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead. I was just gonna random rabble.
See, in the mid 1800s, the British Empire used its vast influence to ban slavery in the region and eventually claimed Zanzibar as a protectorate in 1890. As did with other far-flung territories, the British eventually granted Zanzibar independence, and in December 1963, a constitutional monarchy was established for all of 1 month. In a coup that killed some 20,000 residents, the ruling Sultan Jamshid bin Abdullah was exiled.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just think that the British, they, as small as that country is, they owned colonized a good portion of the land of the earth. That's crazy.
Yeah. So the final one, this is what caught me, and I was like, you're kidding me, right? So this one is out there, way, way out there.
Okay.
Did you know there is a space kingdom called Asgardia?
No, I'm trying to think what Asgard or well Asgardia like. That's like Asgard, and I'm like, where's Asgard? I remember hearing Asgard.
It's Asgardia. I think it's Thor.
Okay, yeah. That's it.
So it was formed in 2016, also known as the Space Kingdom. Asgardia was formed in October 2016 by a group of people who launched the satellite into Earth's orbit, and they live on the satellite, referring to themselves as Asgardians.
So, how do they sustain themselves out there with the lack of atmosphere and nothingness?
They've built other things. I don't know. It's a man-made mobile nation.
Hey, I guess I'll do some more research because I mean they have to like food and waste and all this stuff. They have to.
They've apparently made their own ships and everything else that's just floating out there with their own habitats and whatnot.
Okay.
So it says they've declared sovereignty over the space occupied by and contained within their satellite, Asgardia 1, essentially seeing the spacecraft as a man made mobile nation. And here's it's stupid. Like, they've adopted a constitution whose preamble declares the intention of uniting the future humanity as transethnic, transnational, transreligious, ethical, fair, peaceful, looking into the infinite universe based on equality and dignity of every human being. So, Sputnik, meet Peacenik. So you got these group of hippies pretty much that are floating around in space calling themselves Asgardians, and they hope to establish free access to outer space and establish a permanent settlement on the moon by 2043.
Okay. They must be some rich ass hippies, then.
Let's see. Space Nation's founding father and current head of state. Nation also has a 150 member parliament and has suggested as its legal tender a cryptocurrency called Solar.
Sounds like something we need. Sounds like something we need to invest in. Then.
Yeah, no kidding. So that's, but why though? Why you could come crashing down or get hit by a meteor and your nation's done.
Yeah, in essence, yeah. Or what if an alien spaceship, or well, maybe not alien, but a extraterrestrial spaceship just comes and overtakes you? You have no military to protect you, or police, or nothing like that. You're just everything. Oh, we're nice, we're free, we're trans this and trans that, and any other life form might be like, yeah, we're not. Boom, you're dead.
Yeah. All right, hippie. You're done. I'm taking your air.
But why?
So that's all that I have for But Why Though.
And I'm sorry I could not, or I'm sorry I did not do as much research as I could have because I was busy this week.
Yeah, it's okay. So brings us to our last thing that we're going to talk about. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had an episode. We left for vacation a little bit earlier than what we thought we were going to. And I don't know if anybody's this way, but after you have a vacation, you all but need another vacation to get away from the one that you just had. What do you think?
I mean, it's depends on how the vacation you went on went.
Yeah, so that's why we felt like we needed another vacation because I mean it was great. I know that blue crabs hurt like a son of a bitch whenever they pinch you. And got some good suntan on my arms and got to see Myrtle Beach for the first time in over 20 years.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to say for our listeners, so where did y'all all go on vacation and how long was it?
So we went to Myrtle Beach. My parents moved there last year. They bought a camper and they moved to the campground that my dad proposed to my mom to, and we'd apparently stayed there whenever we were younger. I just didn't know it.
Okay.
And we stayed there for about 11 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for quite a while.
Yeah. It was great. I ended up getting sun poison, and I got to fish for blue crabs right off the bank. My uncle and aunt moved down there a little bit after my parents did, and they live at another campground that's kind of right beside it called Pirate Land.
Okay.
It's pretty decent.
So what I've seen on Facebook with shootings in Myrtle Beach are the campgrounds far enough away where y'all did not have to worry about that?
Yeah, actually, so where we were and where they live is technically considered South Myrtle Beach, and it's almost near Garden City Beach or something like that. But like a lot of people will warn you to not go to North Myrtle because of all the Jamaicans and all the shootings.
Yeah, I last time I went to Myrtle Beach was 2016, so almost 6 years ago.
Yeah, we walked on the boardwalk for like 15 minutes and was like, we're done. One of the best places to go to that we thoroughly enjoyed, though, was Broadway at the beach. Love that place.
Broadway at the beach is nice.
Yeah, it reminded me of the island in Gatlinburg.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean now. Yeah, okay, I can see that. It's been a while since I've been to Broadway at the beach. That was with the second ex when we were still dating.
Oh, cool. So, where did you go for yours?
Well, Amy and I went on our honeymoon, long-awaited honeymoon, from the 4th to the 9th of April last month. We went to, technically the cabin was in Sevierville, and man, it was, we really enjoyed it. We rented a cabin, 1 bed, 1 bath. It was plenty big for what we needed. So yeah, it was busy. We had stuff to do every day. Went to didn't really go like to anywhere like big in Pigeon Forge, just like on the strip, which we happened to go during Rod Week.
Hot Rod Week?
Yeah, so I was like, cause I was a little confused. I was like, why are there so many for sale signs and cars along the strip? And then someone's like, oh yeah, it's Rod Week. Everyone's, like the hot rods are out. I'm like, oh, that makes sense then. And the traffic was not. I'm glad we were like 6-7 miles off the strip, because I would not have liked to get a hotel or motel on the strip. Absolutely not. Would not do it.
So did you see the Three Bears racetrack and everything?
No, we didn't. No, we did not. Who we booked through, the cabin we booked through, there was like a travel agency, Explory, so they offered like some complimentary tickets to attractions in the area. And man, yeah, the only thing we really did in Pigeon Forge was Beyond the Lens, which was kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain. Just go on the website or search for Beyond the Lens and Pigeon Forge. We went to the big Ferris wheel on the island. We went to the Hatfield McCoy dinner show, which was awesome, and then Dollywood. That's really all we did in Pigeon Forge.
And did you go to Ober? We
did go to Ober, and going back up on the not the ski lift, but the tramway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had to get bus. Well, for some reason, I drove to the top of Ober Gatlinburg, and we rode the tramway down, and we looked around a little bit. And I was like, okay, so we're ready to go, go back up. But got about halfway up, and they're like, yeah, we're coming down. The winds are, way too bad.
Wow.
So everyone else is kind of freaking out. I'm just like, well, okay, this kind of sucks. And they're like, oh yeah, well, don't worry, we'll bus you back up. So we had to, wait on someone like with a little RV bus to bus us back up to Ober Gatlinburg. So
that is a long, windy ass road to get up there.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we had Amy's little Chevy Equinox. I'm sure my Camry could have done that, but I like that she has. I think she has all-wheel drive on hers.
It would have died.
Yeah. So I guess I could have like went down in like second gear, but I was like, whatever. I'll just take it slow. So, that's where I bought some stuff from Pepper Palace, and thought about doing some ice skating, but we had other stuff we had to do that day.
That's cool. I saw you went to the catfish place. I forgot what it was called. Huck Finn's.
Yeah. As soon as I'm glad where we were. It was not really that far of a drive from where we live. About a 4.5 hour drive from our house to the cabin.
Yeah.
So as soon as we got checked in, we went to Huck Finn's, and we that's where we saw the very first Unbreakable cup, I guess you could say, that Amy bought. I mean, and we saw those like all over the place in like Pigeon Forge. Like every store we went into, like, oh, we have Unbreakable bowls, Unbreakable cups. They're like the tie-dye colored stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. That's cool. And our favorite part was the Rocky Top Wine Trail. Got some wine from the Apple Barn and some hard cider from the Apple Barn, and there were some other places like the Hillside or Hilltop Winery, and yeah. So we still have some stuff left. I'm keeping the bottles of the other stuff for memory keepsakes, and when we do join the wine club, we know what we like. Right. I know what I don't like. I'm not a fan of are the dry wines or the blackberry / blueberry wines. Those are a little bit too tart for my tasting.
Yeah, I don't like tart wines. I like sweet.
Yeah, sweet and semi-sweet for me. So.
Sounds like you guys had a good time.
Yeah, I definitely. I told Amy, obviously, probably can't do it this year with my amount of PTO left, and we're going back up to Michigan for Christmas. But I told her definitely for my 40th birthday, if we could swing it, my financial wise and all that, I wouldn't mind having my 40th birthday in Gatlinburg or that area.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. So, while we were taking our little hiatus, some of you I did get a chance to talk to some of you guys, and it's just amazing to know that there's a bunch of you that listen almost damn near every episode.
We're thankful for that.
Yeah, we're very thankful for that, because I was asked, like, even at work, what's going on with your guys' podcast? Are you done? And I'm just like, no, so work has picked up a bit. Last week we had 2 trainings in a week, and then before that, there was like training for some other stuff that was going on, and even though we work from home, it's just emotionally draining. So work gets picked up for us, and since it's getting warmer outside, after being at the beach, I want to get out and walk around and do stuff more. So I mean, we're still here. We're still making episodes. It's just going to be like, I guess, whenever we feel like making an episode, but we're still here.
Okay. Yeah.
We're not going to be canceled just yet.
Hopefully not at all.
Yeah, exactly. But we are happy that we do have a bunch of diehard fans, because at work I was asking some people, I was like, so what are your favorite episodes, or how many episodes have you listened to? And just a couple of people were like, all of them. I'm like,
speaking of that, and this may give me some slack from the listeners and or some of the guests that we've had on, but bravo to y'all that have listened to some of those episodes that are damn near 3 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
If y'all listen to the whole thing, bravo, because I've tried. I mean, I'll get through it. It'll take me about 3 or 4 days just because, lunch breaks and this, that, and the other. But man, hopefully we don't do anything that long in the future. Yeah. I'm not saying we didn't have a good time with everyone, but sometimes we like to ramble, and it happens sometimes, I guess.
Yeah. And of course, I've got to listen to everything because I do all the editing. So I've got to listen to it like 2 and 3 times, and just everything just kind of gets bogged down. But oh, and I'm also doing the Etsy shop. If y'all haven't figured that out, it's live. Go check it out. Buy something because I'd like to be able to make something for y'all.
So there you go. Oh, see, so Ryan, so you know how we've like some of our guests, we've had their links in the podcast.
Yeah.
Perfect time to promote your website in the podcast for, you know, maybe people that don't listen, or sorry, that aren't your friends that listen to the show. Maybe you could, you know, bring some new customers.
I didn't think about that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and include my Etsy shop in the link. And basically what I do is I do all kind of custom wood burning, and my wife is going to be doing some stuff with the Cricut, like vinyl making and stuff like that. Probably do some vinyl making with the wood coasters.
Okay.
So stick around and check that out, and I'll update occasionally.
Awesome. Definitely look forward to that.
So that's all that I've really got. Oh yeah, wait. Polly's Pick'ems. How is that going?
It's going okay. I've made a post on the page. If I guess if y'all want, I can include that in the description link or whatever. College baseball is just not as popular as college football. Thank you, Ryan, for playing this year, and the few other people that have played this year. I'm gonna discontinue that. I've said it on my podcast, or my different podcast, Polly's Pick'ems, the podcast. I'm going to be hopefully switching over to the USFL/XFL next year. For the spring sport, just because I don't want to be just a football show and just kind of be or not make an episode or anything. Hold on. No, depending on how the USFL goes this year, I might do a show in the spring. I know I'll definitely do the pick'ems on the page in the spring.
Okay.
I'm obviously going to do the show and the pick'ems for the college football and the pro football in the fall. So just kind of play that by ear. I'm talking with one of my loyal fans and players of Polly's Pick'ems, Tyler D. Hutton. He's going to give me some pointers because he said he's listened to most every episode I've put out on my Pick'ems. He's like, well, some of that stuff's okay. You could do this to change it. And just waiting to hear back from him on some of his ideas going forward, because I'm probably going to get rid of some of my segments and hopefully have some more guests on.
Okay. Yeah. I know I've missed 2 games just because I kind of forgot about it, but I was on a 3 to 4 game winning streak there.
Yeah. I think I made mention of that on the page. This is like 3rd or 4th week in a row. Ryan's actually, you know, guessed correctly, and Shane had reached out to me. He's like, hey, bud, how come you didn't remind me of, you know, the Pick'ems? I'm kind of like, man, I was like, if you play it, I shouldn't have to remind you if you enjoy doing this.
Right.
But I'm kind of like, well, okay, fine. You know, everyone gets busy. Everyone has a life outside of Facebook. So I'll go ahead and remind you. But I was like, I'm not going to remind. Okay, so disclaimer, I'm not going to be reminding everyone going forward in, you know, football and or maybe spring football next year. If you want to play Polly's Pick'ems, you're going to play Polly's Pick'ems. And if you forget a week, don't get mad at me, because you're the one that's wanting to play. I'm not holding a gun to your head saying you have to play.
Right. And you're lacking in the score because you forgot a week.
Right.
So I guess I'm in 3rd place no matter what I did.
Yeah, I mean, and surprisingly, Brad has not played this week, or he hadn't put his pick. He did not put his picks in before noon yesterday. So I don't know if he forgot or he just, I don't know.
Don't either.
I'm trying not to make this like a smack page or anything like that. I'm just, although with Polly's Pick'ems, like last year college football, there were like 3 people that quit playing: Kenneth, Amber, and Steve. I did kind of troll him a little bit. Like I made that like congratulations, you did it sticker, And I put like, yeah, congratulations, you played at least 1 week of Paulie's Pick'ems. That was kind of mean, but I mean, I don't understand. Like the one guy, Steve Rogers, he played the first week and then he quit, and he was in second place. He was tied for second place after the first week. So I don't know why you would quit. Like, I mean, the first week last year for football, everyone did bad because a team that everyone picked to win and had a lot of confidence points, they lost. So everyone
terrible.
Well, I mean, you came in like a few games in during the season though.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had like 39 points. I had, or 38, 39 points. I had like maybe a 1 point better. And then weeks 2 through whatever he didn't play. So I'm just like, I kept on saying on the podcast, yeah. And then
are you still there? Hello? I think we lost Derek. Okay. He'll be back in a second, I guess. It feels like the first time in forever. It feels like the first time in forever. Oh, look, Jabu, my fool. You stupid monkey. And are you back, sir?
Yeah, I have no idea what happened.
That was weird. It got cut as soon as you said, I don't even know what you were saying. I think something about 2 points and then it stopped. I don't know.
I just remember saying if you plan on playing Paulie's Pick'ems for the fall, I don't mean you, I mean anyone in general, and you will just play 1 or 2 weeks and then you quit. I won't make mention of you on the page, but I might mention you in the podcast when I do the updated scores every week, because people are still going to keep on playing, and people might go up in the rankings, might go down in the rankings, but you'll still be in the bottom if you don't pick. And I don't mean you, Ryan, I mean people in general.
Right. Well, I see your point, because you kind of have to have like people playing to have some content. That's what it's like based on.
Right. And like for one of my episode titles, like Andy McCarley out of nowhere. He's played Paulie's Pick'ems like 7 years that I've done it. He's played all 7 years, and I honestly wasn't sure if he was going to win. I do remember saying on one episode that I think because Tyler was in first place, and I thought, anyone from second place to eighth place, they have a legitimate shot of, first place to eighth place has a legitimate shot of winning it. And Andy was kind of like seventh or eighth place, and he just happened to pick the right games or pick the teams right. And he didn't beat Tyler by much, but he did beat Tyler. So he first time champion, Andy McCarley of Paulie's Pick'ems.
All right. Also, listeners of our podcast, if you want to get in on this, you can befriend Derek and play Paulie's Pick'ems. I am not so sports savvy where Derek is, and I've actually been playing the college baseball, and what I've played, I've done pretty good.
Yeah, you have. It's just kind of hard, just because it's kind of hard for baseball compared to football, just because football there's only one game. Like I know you've asked for like hockey. Like,
that's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games, and like they're during the week. Some are during the week, where the college baseball that's usually like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll do the weekend, but there's 3 games. So I'm like, someone could win this game, someone could win that game, and the other team could win this game. It's just kind of a lot to keep track of. Plus, I'm doing this for free. I don't charge anybody for this. So, and I mean, if only because 6 people started out last year, and it just ended up being 3 playing at the end. Like 5 people have like done this year, and 5 are going to be at the end. It's like 3 and 5. I'm like, it's not really worth it to continue doing this. If I've had a lot more people, double digits amount of people play football. It's just, I'm like, I'd rather have the same for baseball, and it's just not there. So I'm going to switch gears. I'm not going to keep on beating a dead horse.
Right. That's understandable.
But yeah, I'm done talking about Paulie's Pick'ems. I don't want to bogart the segment too much.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we really had. Just we're not going anywhere. Like I said, thank you for everybody that sticks around and listens to us. We sure do have fun making these episodes. So just be patient and we'll keep cranking them out.
We love y'all, and we'll talk with you soon.
All right. See ya.